Have you ever wondered, what if the very things you long for arrive the moment you stop running toward them? We grew up in a world that bowed to exhaustion, where sweat was holy, sacrifice was proof, and only the worn and weary were seen as worthy. Success was something to conquer, love, something to chase. Even healing was a battle we thought we had to win. But the quantum realm speaks in a softer voice. It does not demand that you climb mountains. It asks you to become still water. It does not measure your worth by effort. It listens only to the purity of your signal. And yet, the simpler the truth, the more the mind rejects it. For the ego has been taught that only what is difficult can be real. So we begin to twist what is effortless into something heavy. We turn alignment into a technique, receiving into a checklist. We hide the beauty of ease beneath rituals and rules, forgetting the universe has never cared for your to-do list. It is only responding to your vibration. In the language of quantum science, there is a state called coherence, when every particle moves in harmony, amplifying the slightest touch into something extraordinary. Your being works the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions fall into sync, you become a living frequency that bends reality without lifting a hand. And this harmony does not come from force. It blooms when the inner noise fades, when the mind unclenches its grip, and you finally allow yourself to receive. Look back on your life. The moments that changed everything did not arrive in the middle of your struggle. They appeared in stillness, when you were open, unguarded, and quietly ready. You were tuned to something higher, and the field could not help but answer. That's not luck, that's quantum alignment, and it's reaching for you even now. But first, you must release the belief that only struggle leads to gain. This is not about sitting still and doing nothing. It's about aligning before you move, about letting your energy work louder than your hands. Manifestation is not a race toward what you want. It is the quiet pull that draws it in. You don't magnetize what you toil for. You magnetize what you become. An embodiment begins when you allow yourself to already hold what you seek, without grasping, without chasing. So ask yourself, what if it was meant to be easy? What if the simplicity of quantum manifestation is not a loophole, but the blueprint itself? What if the only barrier between you and your breakthrough is your refusal to believe in ease? Simplicity in the quantum field is not laziness. It's not bypassing life or waiting for miracles to repair what you will not touch. Simplicity is clarity. It's the precision of energy when it is free from noise. It's the natural rhythm of being aligned with what you desire. In the language of quantum mechanics, simplicity is coherence, the unmistakable signature of all-powerful creation. Classical thinking tells us to push harder, move faster, apply more pressure. But the quantum world plays by a different law. Energy travels the path of least resistance. It does not choose the steepest climb. It flows where the opening is, with grace, speed, and elegance. And so, the harder you try, the more walls you build. But the moment you soften into alignment, the way clears. Still, most complicate their desires before they've even begun. They picture the dream, and almost instantly the mind floods with doubt. How will it happen? What if I'm not ready? What if it takes too long? That is not clarity, that is static. A scrambled signal the field cannot translate. The quantum responds to frequency, and frequency cannot be fractured, it must be whole. Simplicity is not the absence of thought, it is the mastery of thought. The moment you stop questioning if it is possible and start living as though it already is. Coherence is when every part of you speaks in unison, the same frequency, the same rhythm, the same truth. No inner debate, no hidden contradictions. When thought, emotion, and expectation move as one, you become a magnetic beacon the universe can only reflect. But most live in fragmentation, saying one thing, feeling another, and expecting something else entirely. Simplicity cuts through that. It dissolves contradiction. It strips away the clutter until only what is true remains. You stop dissecting the how and turn fully toward the what and the who. What do I choose? Who must I become to live inside that reality? Everything else is just static, the kind of noise that keeps your signal scrambled and your desires far away. Picture this. You're tuning an old radio. The dial moves slowly, static crackles. A faint voice flickers in and out. Then, suddenly, clarity. The music pours through clear and whole. That is what happens when your inner world finds coherence. That is the feeling of simplicity. The station was always there. You just had to tune to it. In quantum manifestation, the station is your desired reality. The dial is your vibration. But tuning in requires trust. It asks you to release the addiction to control. You don't have to choreograph every detail. You only have to send a clear signal. Most of what you long for is already reaching for you. It's there, pulsing in the field, waiting for your signal to match. But complexity, the need to force, to overthink, to micromanage, builds walls between you and what is already yours. Simplicity is not weakness. It is mastery. It begins in stillness. The permission to stop chasing, to let your nervous system feel safe without constant motion. From there, you choose the version of yourself who already holds the desire. Not as a daydream, but as an identity. You speak as them, walk as them, decide as them, live in their frequency now, fully, without hesitation. In the universe, bound by the law of quantum resonance, must respond. Complexity is the fingerprint of doubt. Simplicity is the signature of trust. When you believe it must be hard, you will carve a hard road. When you know energy flows where alignment goes, you stop doing more and start being more. You align, you receive, and you see the truth. Nothing was ever withheld. It was only waiting for your signal to become clear. In quantum language, this clarity has a name: coherence. Coherence is when many parts, particles, waves, systems, move in perfect alignment, no longer fragments, but a single harmonious whole. When coherence is present, energy focuses. It becomes sharp, potent, unstoppable. It does not scatter or waste itself in noise. It creates results that are consistent, reliable, and powerful. Imagine a swarm of particles in chaos, each vibrating in a different direction, colliding, bleeding energy into the void. That is incoherence, noisy, inefficient, unfocused. Now imagine those same particles falling into perfect rhythm. No collisions, no wasted motion. Every beat aligned to a shared pulse. Energy gathers, intensifies, organizes itself without effort. This is what happens inside your consciousness when you reach inner coherence. Your thoughts, your emotions, your body, no longer pulling in separate directions. Move as one. Here lies the challenge. Most people are not coherent. They claim they want wealth, love, peace, yet their emotions hum with fear, doubt, scarcity, and their actions quietly obey that emotional code. I believe in abundance, they say, while panicking over bills. I trust the universe, they insist, while checking obsessively for proof. This is not alignment. This is energetic conflict. And the quantum field does not speak the language of your words. It speaks the language of your state. It mirrors what you are. Your manifestations are not blocked because you're not doing enough. They're blocked because your signal is fragmented. A song played in two clashing keys. You send the field a mixed message. I want, but I don't believe. I hope, but I don't feel worthy. I ask, but I don't allow. Incoherence is a noisy signal. It dilutes your power. It weakens the field around you. It keeps your desired reality just out of reach. But when you strip away the noise, everything changes. Simplicity here means agreement. One frequency, chosen and kept. Your inner world stops debating itself. Your mind clears. Your emotions soften. Your body steps out of survival mode. And when mind, heart, and body become a single field, the quantum responds instantly. Not because time passes, but because resistance dissolves. This is why less is more. Not through inaction, but through precision. Every movement of your energy is clean. You no longer take 5 steps forward and 4 steps back. No more loops of overthinking, emotional turbulence, or burnout. Your life becomes elegant, efficient, aligned. You stop trying to manifest and start being the manifestation. And the moment you fully embody it, the quantum reflects it with speed and accuracy. Neuroscience sees coherence too. In high beta, stress, overthinking, survival, brainwaves scatter. But in alpha or theta, relaxation, intuition, visualization, they synchronize. This synchronization opens the subconscious, the gateway to the quantum. So coherence isn't just a spiritual truth, it's a measurable neurological state. When you stop over-efforting and begin aligning, your body receives a signal of safety. The nervous system steadies, the heart rate slows, cortisol drops, immunity strengthens, intuition sharpens. You enter a physiological state of allowing, and in that state, you become a portal for creation. You are no longer chasing your future. You are allowing your timeline to catch up with who you have already become. Simplicity is not waiting for magic. It is stepping into energetic congruence. It is becoming the clear, unwavering signal the quantum cannot ignore. And when all of you says yes to a single reality, that reality collapses into now, because the field is bound to vibration, not time. The first shift is this: trade the tight grip of control for the gentle light of clarity. It may sound effortless, yet it unravels one of the deepest addictions we carry: the need to steer every detail, especially among those walking the spiritual path. We claim to trust the universe, yet our hands are still on the wheel, micromanaging destiny. What's my next move? Was that really a sign? Should I visualize one more time? To the quantum field, this isn't trust, it's static. It's the hum of contradiction that drowns out your signal. But when your heart is clear, when you know exactly what you seek, and more importantly, the soul-deep reason why, your energy becomes a single, clean note. A note so pure it draws reality to you without strain. The quantum does not need your constant interference. It needs a request wrapped in coherence. So once you have asked, once you have chosen, release your grip. Stop rewriting the script. Stop pulling at the threads. Let it breathe. Let it become. The second shift: release the timeline. If you've ever whispered to yourself, "I need this by next week," you've already stepped out of the quantum field. The quantum does not run on deadlines. It flows in frequencies, and the truest frequency has no clock. Think about the moments you've been in perfect alignment. Was there any urge to force its arrival? No. You knew it was coming. You could feel it in your bones. Urgency is only scarcity wearing a mask of strategy. It compresses your vision, tightens your chest, and pushes the reality you long for even further away. But when you let go of when and instead tune into who you are becoming, you bend time itself. Because to the quantum, the only requirement is readiness, and readiness is not a date on a calendar, it is a coherence of being. The third shift: trust your first alignment. That moment when desire first sparked in your chest, when you said yes, that's it. In that instant, the request was sent. The field heard you, the code was written, yet most of us, afraid it wasn't enough, repeat it again and again. Journaling, chanting, visualizing, not from trust, but from fear. Fear it didn't work. Fear the field forgot. But every time you rescind what was already received, you whisper to the quantum, "I don't trust you." And that doubt clouds your signal. It's like sending a perfect radio transmission, then calling every 5 minutes to ask, "Did you get it?" What if just for today you allowed it to be easy? What if you stopped doing rituals from a place of worry and rested instead in the vibration of certainty? This is not laziness. It is elegance. It is mastery of energy. Momentum is not built through effort. It grows in the purity of your frequency. As often as you return to that original signal, untouched, undiluted, its power compounds. We were taught that repetition is commitment, that practice makes perfect, that if we don't keep asking, the universe will forget. But in the quantum model, one request made from perfect alignment is worth more than 100 made from doubt. This isn't blind faith, it's physics. The observer shapes reality according to their state of observation. And when that state is pure, undisturbed, reality responds at once. Break the loop. Step out of complexity into ease. The timeline you seek already exists, not by fate, but because the moment you desired it, it took form in the quantum. You don't have to build it from nothing. You only need to match its frequency. You've tuned into it before, in flashes of intuition, in perfect synchronicities that felt too sharp to be random. Those were not accidents. They were alignments. But the moment your mind whispered, "This is too easy," you slipped back into old programming. Simplicity is not the enemy. It is the doorway. The mind craves process. The quantum craves permission. When you allow things to feel light and natural, you are not lowering your standards. You are stepping into the frequency where your higher self already lives. You are not chasing your future. You are remembering it. You are not creating a new you. You are aligning with the one who has already lived this truth. All timelines exist now. You don't need to force the one you want. You only need to stop resisting it. And resistance is nothing more than the story that says, "This is too good to be true." It is the echo of a world that taught you worth is earned through struggle. But your worth has never been in question. Each time you release the need to fight, you rise closer to the vibration of your higher self. A self that does not beg, does not hustle, does not doubt. It simply exists in flow, in certainty. Manifestation, then, is no longer an effort. It becomes your nature. Not a trick, not a manipulation, but a return to resonance with the version of you who already holds what you desire. When you choose simplicity, the universe answers instantly, because you're not asking for permission, you are remembering you've always had it. That feeling isn't hype, it's resonance. Because manifestation in the quantum doesn't roar like a thunderclap. It moves like a current you finally notice. It comes as a recognition, a remembering. You didn't wander here by chance. You were magnetized, drawn into this space by the quiet pull of frequency. Some part of you, perhaps long before your mind could name it, already knew this was the moment. The moment to stop forcing, to stop running, to stop believing that struggle is the price of receiving. It never was. The universe has never asked you to prove yourself through exhaustion, only to become clear, coherent, willing to let it be simple. This is the final shift, to stop dissecting the process and start embodying the frequency. Not as a mood you visit, but as your baseline, your natural state, your native vibration. Anchor this truth in your body. I allow it to be easy. Say it again. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath soften. This is not laziness. This is the intelligence of the field itself. A tree doesn't debate how to grow. A wave doesn't negotiate its shape. The universe expands without strain, by being in harmony with itself. And you are of the same fabric. You simply forgot. Until now. If this message stirred something deeper than words, if you felt an activation, I created something to carry you further into this state. It's called Awaken Your Quantum Power. Inside, you'll find 7 vibrational principles to bring your mind, body, and field into coherence, so you can stop striving and start receiving. You'll learn how to hold the signal of your higher self, activate your natural magnetic field, and bend time through alignment, not effort. You'll find the link in the pinned comment. And here's the truth to leave with. You are not broken. You are not behind. Nothing you've asked for is lost. It's already on its way, because now, and the more you relax into that, the faster reality bends to meet you. You're no longer chasing, you are aligning. And that changes everything. So take one last breath with me. Inhale gently, exhale completely. You do not need to control. You do not need to repeat. You do not need to struggle. You only need to become. Until we meet again, stay light, stay aligned. And remember, you were never meant to fight for what's yours. You were meant to resonate and allow. If this message resonated with you, if something deep inside whispered yes, then let's keep walking this path together. Subscribe now, not out of urgency, but out of alignment, so that every time you're ready to rise a little higher, the words and frequencies you need will simply appear. This space is our meeting point across timelines. When you return, we'll keep remembering, we'll keep aligning, and together we'll keep becoming.